Who's been to Israel? Okay, just a couple of us. We're going back to Israel in the summer of 2016, and we normally go about June or so. We're going to lead a group there, and this is the kind of grass you see in June. Okay, the weather's very similar to Southern California, maybe a little hotter than Southern California, but in terms of the rain cycle, it rains pretty much. They get most of their rain in November. December's their wettest month, then a little bit in January. It really starts drying out. By the time April rolls around, they don't get rain for most of the summer. So they go April, May, June, July, August, September, October, like no rain. So, you know, if you get too much past the spring, this is what you're going to get. But Mark creates a puzzle about this, or leaves a puzzle. Jesus said to them, come away. This is all the context of the feeding of the 5,000. He says, come away by yourselves to a desolate place and rest a while. So you got to get to a desolate place before he's going to feed them. And he says, for many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat. Then he commanded them all to sit down in groups on the green grass. That's kind of a extra little detail. Why would you say that? Why would you just say grass? Sit down on the grass. No, it says green grass. Well, here is the puzzle in this one. Grass in Galilee is rarely green. Okay? Maybe early on in the spring it is, but then after that, it's not. It looks like that. So where do we get some resolution here? You get some resolution by going to John, because John says that this happened at the Passover. When does the Passover occur? It occurs in the spring. In other words, the week just before and after the growing season in Palestine is when this occurred, hence the green grass. Also during Passover, the roads would be clogged with people. That's why he says, let's get to a desolate place. Let's get off the streets. Let's sit down here in the green grass so we can meet. And then he feeds them. Now, you don't get this from one gospel, right? This is all interlocked. It's obvious these are not all copied from one another. And it's obvious that each account has some detail, eyewitness detail, that maybe the other account didn't include. They're all eyewitnesses. So not only does John solve Luke, and Luke solves Matthew twice, Mark solves Luke, and Luke also solves John, but now you've got John solving Mark. How many have ever been to Capernaum? You ever been to Capernaum? This is the gate you walk through when you get into the town. It's that town I mentioned earlier, right at the top of the Sea of Galilee. I love this place because there's so much that goes on in Capernaum. And when you go to Capernaum, the areas of the Bible that Capernaum is in, or that the Bible talks about when it talks about Capernaum, they just come to life. You can see everything because it's a very small area. Jesus went from the synagogue. He saw Peter's house. There's Peter's house. Well, it didn't look like this then. He had quite a spot. He was a three diamond in Amway or something. I don't know what he was, but this church is a Catholic church that was built, say, 20, 30 years ago, over the site of what is thought to be Peter's house. You see these bricks right here? These bricks are surrounding an archaeological area. And when you go sit in this church, it has a see-through floor, basically. So it's like a plexiglass floor that you can look through and see the remains of Peter's house. There's archaeological reasons to believe that this was Peter's house in the 1st century. And the sea is that way. So if you walked through under the house and kept going, you'd wind up in the sea. You're right there on the shore. And if you go to the left over here, you'll see a synagogue, the remains of a synagogue. We'll get to that here in a minute. But in any event, what happened at this place to Jesus was that Matthew says that Jesus entered Peter's house, and he saw his mother-in-law lying sick with a fever. He touched her hand, and the fever left her. And she rose and began to serve him. That evening they brought to him many who were oppressed by demons, and he cast out the spirits with a word and healed all who were sick. Okay, what's the puzzle here? Yeah, what's that evening? What's the deal with that? I don't know about you, but if Jesus is healing people, why am I waiting until the evening? He may leave, right? If he does this during the day, and then I wait like 5 hours till evening comes, he may be gone. I'm going over there now if I'm sick, right? unless it's the Sabbath. But Matthew doesn't tell us it's the Sabbath. Who tells us it's the Sabbath? Mark solves Matthew. On the Sabbath, he entered the synagogue and was teaching, and immediately he left the synagogue and entered the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. Now Simon's mother-in-law, ill with a fever. That evening at sundown, they brought to him all who were sick or oppressed by demons. Now you've got another account giving you more information that solves the puzzle in the first account. In fact, not only does John affirm Luke, and Luke affirms John, and Luke affirms Matthew twice, Mark affirms Luke, and John affirms Mark. Now you got Mark solving Matthew. You can see how this is going. We're getting quite a network here of interacting, interlocking evidence.